Yo, what's up everybody? It's me, WD Michael, and in today's YouTube video, we are going to be talking about the brand new 7-star Tera Raid battle event coming to the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video games. Now, this week we are going to be getting another water Pokemon, and this one is going to be the secret agent Pokemon Inteleon. Now, Inteleon is a little bit of a kind of what a lot of people would consider a glass cannon. So this Pokemon may be a little bit easier to take out just due to the fact that it's not going to live as long as something, say, like a Samurott. But that doesn't mean that it isn't going to be difficult. It does have a lot of damage, and its ability Snipe will mean that it's going to be doing a decent amount of damage with some of the moves it's going to be pumping out. So we definitely want to make sure that we have the right Pokemon for this Tera Raid battle event. I've got 9 Pokemon builds ready for you to help you and your friends take this out this weekend and not have to wait till the next weekend to snag your Inteleon. Now, a few things before we hop into this video and check out these raid builds. First off, thank you all so much for all the love and support on the YouTube channel, the TikTok, and the Instagram. It's been absolutely fantastic being able to see and chat with everybody in the comments. So again, thank you all so much. And if you want to come in game with me when the Inteleon raids drop tonight on my Twitch channel, make sure you hop on over to twitch.tv/WDMichael. I have recently partnered with Advanced GG, an amazing gaming supplement that will help you with your focus and your accuracy during all of those late night gaming sessions. If you want to pick up a tub and try it out for yourself, make sure you use code WD to get 10% off your order. Now let's get into some raid builds to beat this Inteleon Tera Raid battle event. Okay, so if we want to actually talk about the raid builds, we need to understand the Pokemon that we're going to be fighting in this Tera Raid battle event, and that is going to be Inteleon, the secret agent Pokemon, the water type starter that has a little bit of a glass cannon kind of a vibe to it. It isn't the bulkiest Pokemon, but it can dish out a ton of damage. The sniper ability is going to give it a lot of damage with its crits and its move Snipe Shot, which is its main kind of signature stab move. It's going to be pumping out some crits, and it might start doing some damage that we really weren't expecting. So you got to be prepared for that. And we'll actually talk about that in some of the builds and how we can kind of mitigate some of that damage. Now, with this Pokemon, it is going to be going from April 27th to the 30th. So it is going to be starting tonight. And if you want to raid with me, make sure you hop on over to my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/WDMichael. You also get another chance on May 4th to the 7th. It is shiny locked, so you won't be able to get the shiny from the raid, but you will be able to Masuda Egg, hatch it, and get your shiny that way. You will also have only 1 catch per save file, so make sure that when you do catch it, you use the right Pokeball, because you cannot redo it. Now, with this Pokemon, like I said, it is kind of a glass cannon. It's got some really big damaging moves. It also has some moves that can kind of help it not take some damage or mitigate some damage. So some of the big ones, we have Snipe Shot, Blizzard. As it is going to be an Ice Tera, Inteleon does get access to a couple of ice moves, from Blizzard to Ice Beam, so we're definitely going to see some really big ice moves coming out of this Pokemon. It does also have some access to some flying moves like acrobatics, so you gotta make sure some of those fighting Pokemon that we're wanting to bring, you know, it may end up having some coverage for some of those Pokemon that you may want to bring, like a fire Pokemon. Not going to really work that well because we have the Snipe Shot. Acrobatics and flying Pokemon, it may not work. We just got to kind of check and see. The other one is Dark Pulse. It does get access to some dark moves, so overall, it does cover a lot of these Pokemon, but there are some that it really doesn't cover that well, and one of those is Steel. Steel is going to be one of those kind of, I think, one of the better typings in this, just due to the fact you can do a lot of damage to the Inteleon with Steel type moves, while also not taking a lot of damage from those Ice type moves. And if you pair the Steel typing with another Pokemon or typing, it can definitely help out. So I think that's going to be something to really keep in mind with this one. Now, as far as its actual like supportive moves, we have seen in the past with some of the other previous raids with having double teams. So this might be one of those ones that is a little bit on the squishier side, where we might get double team to kind of mitigate some of its damage and live a little bit longer. It does get access to Tearful Look, so we'll be dropping some possibly dropping some damage and also special damage from Pokemon. It also has Aqua Rings, so if it ends up using Aqua Rings, it can actually heal itself every turn and kind of give itself a little bit of HP back as well. So all in all, yes, a glass cannon, but it can also kind of give itself a little bit of damage mitigation. So this should be a fun one. I think that I don't think it'll be as hard as some of the other ones, but I think it will definitely be a challenging and fun raid. So let's get into some of the raid builds. Let's start off with all of our support Pokemon. Let's kick this one off with Blissey. All right, so starting off with our supportive Pokemon, here is Blissey. Blissey, I think, with some access to some pretty cool moves, can be one of the better support Pokemon for this raid. Inteleon is generally going to be thought of as a special attacking Pokemon. So Blissey being a really heavy special defensive Pokemon with a high HP stat gives it access to, you know, the survivability of what the Pokemon's going to be dishing out, while also having access to some of the other types of moves that could help out. Since it is an ice Pokemon, Blissey actually gets Flamethrower, which is kind of cool. It also gets access to Sunny Day, so we can definitely help our team while also actually being able to put out some damage to the Inteleon while being a support Pokemon. So Blissey could definitely be a pretty fun Pokemon. Now also with this Pokemon, I think that you have, like, you can definitely use Light Screen, Thunder Wave, or Calm Mind, depending on how you want to play with this Pokemon. They definitely have options, or at least viability as far as in these raids, as well as things like the Heat Rock, where you can make your Sunny Day last a little bit longer. Leftovers, Light Screen to help with or Light Clay, I'm sorry, to help with your Light Screen. So overall, Blissey feels like a really decent support Pokemon. I probably wouldn't bring like 2 or 3 of these to a raid. Definitely feel like one of them would be nice to have on a team to kind of just round it out and give you some healing and support like that. So yeah, Blissey, definitely a really awesome option. So yeah, let's get into the next support build, which I believe will be Sneasel. All right, in our second support Pokemon, we have Sneasel. Now, Sneasel is not a fully evolved Pokemon, but it also does, I mean, if we can put on an Eviolite, we can boost up its special defense and defensive stats and really just have a nice supportive Pokemon for this raid, because Sneasel does get access to some pretty cool moves that will help out. Specifically, Snarl, since Inteleon is probably going to be a special attacking Pokemon, Snarl will definitely be helpful to mitigate damage to your team. Screech will help your physically attacking Pokemon do damage to the raid boss. Fake Tears is going to help your special defensive Pokemon attack, or special attack Pokemon attack the raid boss. Ugh! And then also Helping Hand. Helping Hand will help you just overall support any Pokemon on the field. So Sneasel definitely feels like a really just a solid Pokemon that isn't going to be taking a lot of damage, seeing as it is an ice Pokemon as well as a dark Pokemon. We're not going to really see a lot of super effective hits being taken in the Sneasel, so he could just sit around and just do what he needs to, which is support your team. It also does get access to Brick Break and Sunny Day, also great moves that you might end up needing in this raid. So yeah, Sneasel was really cool, man. I really thought this was a fun one. First time I've actually built with Sneasel in a raid, but it really fits with this one in particular. So there you have it, Sneasel. Let's hop into the third raid build, which will be Magnezone. All right, for our third supported Pokemon, our Magnezone. Magnezone's been one of those Pokemon I've definitely used in a ton of raids recently. Its viability is really good. It gets a massive access to really cool supportive moves, both on the special attacking side and the regular, like, there's physical attacking side. It can really help a team with, it's really cool. I like this Pokemon, and it also, the fact that it is super bulky and is going to be able to withstand a lot of damage from the opposing Pokemon. Magnezone just feels like another great option for this raid. Now with its moveset, Eerie Impulse, dropping the special attack damage of the Inteleon down by 2 stages, which is fantastic. Love Eerie Impulse. Light Screen, help your entire team take less damage. You get things like Metal Sound to drop the special defense. Flash Cannon is a great move that's going to be super effective into this ice type Inteleon. Then you also have access to other things that this can use as well. So you've got Helping Hand. You've got Screech to help out your physical attackers. You've also got Sunny Day. I mean, this Pokemon basically gets everything that you would want in a raid battle, and it also has the right typing, all that great stuff. I think this will be a great Pokemon. And then one other thing to keep in mind, if you are going to be using like Screech, Metal Sound, they're not 100% accurate. So running an item like Wide Lens can be really beneficial if you just don't want to move, if you don't want to miss those attacks. You just want to make sure you're hitting them. So yeah, absolutely, I love Magnezone. That'll be kind of the last of our supporting Pokemon for like all around team builds. The next supporting Pokemon I would really only take with one particular Pokemon, and that is going to be the combination of Crabominable and Cryogonal. So we'll talk about the support Cryogonal build next. All right, so for our final support Pokemon, we have Cryogonal. Now, Cryogonal would not be one of those Pokemon I would bring with any of these other Pokemon that we're building. I would really only bring Cryogonal with an Anger Point Pokemon. There are only a couple of them. Specifically, I built with Crabominable. Now, Crabominable being an Ice-type Pokemon and also a fighting is gonna give it access to a lot of the moves and also some resistances that are really helpful with the Inteleon Raid. So First thing was I needed to think of was how am I going to proc the anger point on Crabominable? And I asked Twitter of some options, and a lot of people brought up Cryogonal and Frostlass. Now, Cryogonal is going to be able to get the move Frost Breath, which is a 100% critical strike ratio. So what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be hitting our Crabominable with Frost Breath so that we can proc its anger point and just absolutely max out its attack stat so that it can just start punching the crap out of this Inteleon. So that is the whole thing with this Pokemon. It really won't be working super well with any other Pokemon, and I really wouldn't suggest doing it. But if you've got Crabominable, run it up and let's see how it goes. I think this will be a lot of fun. So yeah, other than that though, Light Screen with Light Clay is going to give you a little bit of survivability if, say, the Crabominable doesn't one-shot and you got to stick around for a little while. Having Recover gives you some actual survivability on the battlefield without having to waste any other items or moves or whatnot, or your cheers. And then Flash Cannon is another, like we said before, a super effective move that Cryogonal can use to boost up a little bit of damage and kind of help out. So yeah, Cryogonal, awesome Pokemon. I think it'll be cool. I'm definitely going to be using this Cryogonal and Crabominable and Cryogonal. Try saying that 20 times in a row. But I'll be using this combination on my Twitch stream tonight. I definitely want to see how this one works. This one I feel like is going to be really cool. So let's get into the Crabominable build here now for the other part of this kind of duo build that we've got going on. All right, so for our first attacking Pokemon, we have Crabominable, and this is one of the ones that I'm most excited to use. It'll probably be the first one that I test out on my stream tonight. Basically, you have a giant crab who has Anger Point, so if you can basically get crit, you max out your attack stat, and now you can start pumping out a ton of damage into the raid boss, who is a little bit on the squishy side. So I'm hoping that we can try to find a way to one-shot it with this Crabominable or with something along these lines. But yeah, basically, Inteleon has a lot of high crit chance. Cryogonal will be able to crit you. You're going to be able to get the Anger Point proc when you need to get out a bunch of damage. And then with that, you have moves like Close Combat that do a ton of damage. Drain Punch will get you a little bit of survivability so you can get some HP return. Rock Smash is another super effective move that you can use to drop the defensive stat of Inteleon. And then you also have Dynamic Punch, so if you can get it off, I mean, who knows? There was really no other move. We're running Assault Vest to really make sure our special defense is boosted as much as possible. There really wasn't another move that I could find that was going to be able to use, but Dynamic Punch seemed funny because who knows, maybe you get it confused off and it'd be funny to use in the raid. So whatever. Other than that, if you don't want to use Assault Vest and you want to go a little bit differently, I mean, you can definitely use the Expert Belt and you can get some damage to the Expert Belt and then run some other moves because Crabominable does get access to some other moves that could be useful. You've got Bulk Up, you've also got Sunny Day, and you also have Amnesia. So those are definitely things that could be usable if you want to go that route. So yeah, that's definitely kind of our little duo build, Cryogonal and Crabominable. I would definitely match those two together. Crabominable probably could be used by itself on a team, just due to the fact that you can find other ways to utilize it. But I think it really works best with a Pokemon that can self-proc its Anger Point. So yeah, so that is our final kind of duo. Let's get into our other attacking Pokemon. Let's start off with Lucario. We've got Lucario. So Lucario is going to be, I think, one of just the better all-around Pokemon for this raid. So if you're going into this solo, by yourself, or with randoms, honestly, I would really suggest Lucario. I think it's going to have the most viability as far as a whole Pokemon. Not super attack heavy, not super support heavy, but just kind of, it can do both. And it has super effective damage. I think this is going to be a really good one. So the reason why I say this is it's got a decent special attack stat. So you're going to be able to have moves like Aura Sphere, which is going to be super effective stab move. It's also going to get access to Metal Sound, where you can drop its special defense. You've also got Calm Mind, which is going to boost your special attack, as well as your special defensive stat. You've also got Life Dew, which you can heal yourself. So you basically have everything you need. Damage. You drop the raid boss's defensive stat for what you need. You can up your defense for what you think the raid boss is going to be, which is a special attacking. And you can also up your attack while also healing yourself. It literally checks every box off as far as a Pokemon goes. So I think this one would be really, really good just as an all-around Pokemon. And just, yeah, I'm really excited to use Lucario. This will be another one that we use pretty regularly in the raid builds tonight. The other thing with Lucario is you can actually also build it as an attack-heavy Pokemon with things like Drain Punch, Swords Dance, and Screech. Definitely viable. I think that the special attacking option is a little bit better, though, just due to the fact that Lucario's special attack stat is a little bit higher than its attack stat. So just, if we're talking optimization, I think the special attacking build is the more optimized one for this raid. The other reason is that Inteleon is an ice Pokemon, so if we end up getting a snowstorm, you're gonna have its attack or its defense boosted. So I think anytime we can bring a special attacking Pokemon to this raid, it just is better in general. So that's my spiel on Lucario. I think it's a really cool Pokemon and should be a lot of fun for this raid battle event. Let's get into the next one, which should be Koraidon. And we've got our box legendary for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with Koraidon. Koraidon is obviously a massive Pokemon with some really high stats and also some access to some really good moves that we need in this raid. So first off, its ability Orichalcum Pulse will make it the weather changed into a favorable sunny day right off the bat, and you also get access to sunny day, which means that you can keep it the correct weather for as long as you want in this raid to make sure that you are mitigating as much damage from that Inteleon. With access to moves like Collision Course, which is going to be super effective in the ice type Pokemon, and it's going to be multiplied by 1.33 every time. Koraidon's going to be doing a lot of damage. Screech is going to allow you to drop the defense of the raid boss, while also having Swords Dance. You can boost your attack stat, giving you just this really nice, well-rounded attacking Pokemon for this raid. Seeing it as it is a dragon type Pokemon, I would definitely watch out just to make sure that it's not taking too much damage, and having a good support Pokemon with you to make sure that you are living through some of the damage that you might be taking in this raid. Thankfully though, Koraidon is a little bit bulkier, so it should be able to live through most of it. So yeah, another really awesome Pokemon. Shell Bell, great item for this since we're doing a lot of damage. We'll get a lot of that health return back. So yeah, Koraidon, fantastic Pokemon. I think it'll do really well in this raid event this weekend. Let's hop into our next one, which is going to be Samurott. And returning from one of our previous raids, we have Samurott. Now, Samurott has access to some really cool moves that are definitely going to help it in this raid while also being really bulky. This Pokemon can definitely hold its own in the raid while also proving to pack out a ton of damage. So I think Samurott's gonna be really cool. It's got shell armor, so we're not gonna be taking any crits from the Inteleon. Shell Bell's gonna be making sure that we get a bunch of HP return from the moves we're gonna be using, like Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword is gonna be one of those just massive damage moves. It's gonna definitely help us out in the raid. We've got access to Screech to drop the defense of the Pokemon we're fighting, Swords Dance to up our own attack damage, and also Focus Energy to give us even more damage with crits. So yeah, I think this Samurott's gonna be really awesome. Even, you know, it also, just the fact that it is super bulky, this Pokemon is just gonna be a nice, well-rounded attacking Pokemon, and should be definitely on top of your list for Pokemon you should be bringing. Now let's get into our final raid build, and that is going to be Hariyama. And rounding out our final raid build for this Inteleon raid guide is going to be Hariyama. Hariyama has the access to Thick Fat ability, which is going to mean that it's going to be taking half damage from all of the ice type moves, which is amazing. And since we've got all that damage mitigation, I think that we can really utilize Belly Drum on Hariyama. Belly Drum is going to cut our HP in half, but it's also going to maximize our attack stats so we can do a ton of damage into this raid boss. Now you've got things like Close Combat to really pack home a punch. Massive damaging attack. But when you don't want to use Close Combat because it does drop your defense and special defense, you do have access to Drain Punch to give you a little bit of HP recovery. Access to Bulk Up just gives you another option to up your damage when you don't really want to use Belly Drum. So I think Hariyama is going to be a fantastic Pokemon for this raid. Also with the Citrus Berry, you're going to make sure that when you do Belly Drum, you get right back up to where you should be, so you're not too super low. But yeah, those are the 9 raid builds that I've been building for the Inteleon raid guide. Thank you all so much for coming out and checking out all the raid builds that I built for the 7-star Tera Raid Inteleon event happening tonight over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/WDMichael. So if you want help beating this Inteleon raid, make sure you stop on by my channel while I'm streaming tonight. I'll be more than happy to help as many people as I can get their Inteleon captured. So make sure you come on over. Also, in the comments down below, let me know which one of these raid builds is your favorite. And maybe if there was one that I am missing that you think should have been added into the video. I would definitely love to know about it. And again, thank you all so much for the love recently. I cannot thank you all enough. It's been absolutely fantastic. I appreciate it so much. And again, if you like this kind of content, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell so we can continue reaching our goal, which is going to be right now 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I really want to get YouTube partner. That is the goal that I'm working towards. And if you want to help me out with that, hit that subscribe button, yo. But again, thank you all so much for coming to this YouTube video. I super appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day on Paldea trainers. Peace.